Hi everybody and welcome to Como Live, brought to you by the Legacy Amendment. My name's Em, I'm a primate zookeeper here at Como, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some of my favorite monkeys here, the white-faced Saki monkeys and the golden-headed lion tamarins. Today is actually one of our white-faced Saki monkeys' birthday. She's the female in the front here with the young baby on her back. Her name is Patty, as you can guess, because she was born today on St. Patty's Day. Patty is turning 24 years old. She was born in 1998, and usually in human care, Sakis can live into their 30s, which is really good. In the wild, they'd live a little bit less, more into their 20s. She gave birth to her little female baby very recently. It was January 15th. So her little baby's still clinging on and will stay with her for most of her time out on exhibit today. The babies, when they're born, they'll start hanging onto the mother's tummy, and it's really hard to see them. They'll camouflage in with the mom's hair, and then as they get stronger, they'll start to move themselves around to the mom's back, and that gives them more room, and so that Patty, the female, she can jump and move more easily now that the baby is on her back. Saki monkeys are also called jumping monkeys. They can jump really far distances. That's one of their strong suits. Another adaptation that they have that makes them kind of interesting is they are nut specialists. So they will eat whole shelled nuts like walnuts and pecans and things like that. They have very strong teeth with little sharp edges that they can crack open the nuts with. So you'll see them eating those as part of their regular diet here at Como. Milton's over there in his pot of gold getting some of his breakfast. Today they've been given fruits, vegetables, nuts like I mentioned. They also get mealworms, which is an insect, and a canned primate diet, which is like a soft, chewy diet made specifically for primates. Patty here has a little piece of it too, and her baby's trying to see what that is. The baby will start to get curious about whole foods and solid foods around this age, but she's still primarily nursing. So she may just want to taste what it is in her hand, but she won't eat it usually. The way to tell our Saki monkeys apart, Patty is our female, like I mentioned. She is gray and like a darker gray, and she kind of has those white tipped hairs. And that's what all females will look like. And the males will be solid black with a very white face, which is where they get that white-faced Saki monkey name from. And this is what we call sexual dimorphism. It's when the male and female of a species look different. And so all of the males will be black with a white face, and all the females will be gray. And they're about the same size. They both weigh about 2.5 kilograms. These guys, as you may have noticed, are also living in the same space with golden-headed lion tamarins. So that's another small monkey species. Tamarins and Sakis can be found in similar areas of the wild. And so we've paired them in the same exhibit, and they do really well together. It's always based on the individuals, though. Sometimes they don't always get along. These guys do great, though. So in the exhibit, we have two tamarins. We have Clifford and we have Weasley. So we have a male and a female. And unlike the Saki monkeys, they do not look different in their colors. So Clifford is the one who's come up to the window to greet us, and Weasley's hung back. And you may see Cliff rubbing his tummy on things. It looks like he's trying to go down a slip and slide. He is trying to scent mark the space around the window here. That's one of Cliff and Weasley's favorite pastimes, is scent marking things. They'll rub their bellies and their chest on branches and windows and rocks, and they'll leave their scent places. And then that way other monkeys know that this is their space and that they've been here. So Cliff and Weasley are golden-headed lion tamarins, and they are not nut specialists like the Sakis. So they do not eat whole shelled nuts. They would have a hard time eating that. But they do eat a lot more insects than the Sakis. They are insectivores in that way. So they'll eat crickets, they'll eat mealworms, they'll eat cockroaches, which I know some people think is pretty gross, but to them it's a tasty snack. We got Cliff back at the window here. They're pretty interactive. And for enrichment today, we've given them St. Patrick's Day enrichment, some pots of gold and rainbows. But we will give them other things too. As you've noticed, Cliff has come up and he's scent marked the window a couple of times. So one of the types of enrichment that we'll do for them is scent. And so we'll put things that are really smelly around their exhibit. Sometimes it's things like cinnamon, other times it's like extracts like vanilla, and they can go around and they can smell that, and sometimes they scent mark over it. So that's a really good piece of enrichment that we use for these guys. It brings out some of their natural behaviors, which is something we always like to see. Some other types of things that we'll do for them are tactile, so things that they can interact with their hands, which is what the little pots of gold would do for them today, being filled with paper. We'll also give them auditory enrichment. So we'll give them music or sounds. Sometimes we'll play nature sounds for them. We will also do food or puzzle enrichment. That's something that some of the monkeys are very good at. And so we will hide food in a puzzle and they'll have to figure out how to get it out. And this is really good too, because in the wild, they would spend a lot of time looking for food. That would be one of their primary activities. And in human care, their food is pretty easy to get. So sometimes we like to use more of their time throughout the day searching for food like they would in the wild, and we use puzzle feeders to do that. And they really enjoy that activity usually. We also, as a form of enrichment, will do training sessions with all of our primates. The training that we perform is always for their health care. So it's things that help keep them healthy without having to stress them out. And so some things that would be an example of that would be we train them to walk onto a scale so that we can get their weight. We train them to move into different spaces so that we can move them into carriers or other spaces so we can move them or clean their space. That's really helpful. We will also train them to show certain body parts to us so that we can observe and make sure that they look good and healthy every day. So some examples of that would be we may ask them to stand up so we can see their bellies. This was especially helpful with seeing Saki baby when she was born because like I said, she was camouflaged in. We couldn't see her on Patty's tummy, but by asking her to stand, we could see the baby. We'll also ask for their hands so we can check their nails. And we'll also ask them to move sideways so we can see their side and back. So those are some examples of behaviors that we work on with these guys. And that is very helpful for their mental stimulation and also their health care. So yeah, thank you for joining me today to visit our white-faced Saki monkeys and our golden-headed lion tamarins. And I hope you have a great St. Patrick's Day.